Hello everyone, I'm Anas Al-Ubaidi and this is lecture 12 or session 12 within chapter 20 of the Advanced Medical Science Liaison and Medical Monitor Certification course program by CCRPS. As the chapter is about the specialized monitoring techniques, while the topic in this session is about the monitoring of geriatric and genetic trials. And by geriatric here, it is the terminology as we know about the elderly participants or elderly patients. So the topic of the session is about the monitoring of geriatric and genetic trials. Introduction. Monitoring in clinical trials focusing on geriatrics and genetics is essential due to the unique populations and specific methodologies involved. Geriatric studies often feature older adults, elderly, with reduced physiological resilience, multiple comorbidities, and susceptibility to adverse drug reactions or interventions. Genetic trials, on the other hand, involve targeted, precision-based therapies influenced by genetic variations. These populations and trial designs are often associated with a greater complexity, requiring advanced monitoring strategies to ensure safety, efficacy, and data integrity. Key points. We'll start with the importance of monitoring in geriatric and genetic trials, as the critical objectives of monitoring, despite of the order ensuring safety, patient or participant safety, as participants in geriatric trials are typically more vulnerable due to age-related health conditions, while genetic trials may carry risks related to unknown therapy responses. Example that might apply to geriatrics, monitoring renal complications linked to polypharmacy in elderly patients during antihypertensive therapy trials. Another example that might apply to genetics, observing off-target effects such as unintended genetic changes in CRISPR Cas9 gene editing studies. Another critical objective of monitoring is the maintain data integrity, data quality, or data accuracy. So, as accurate data collection is essential, especially with complex genetic data sets or subjective measures like geriatric cognitive assessments. Before we proceed, we have here a summarized diagram on enhancing management through effective monitoring strategies, as we have here compliance, accountability, early issue identification, timely interventions, and then improved decision making from top to bottom. Continuing with the critical objectives of monitoring, first we have example about data integrity, as monitoring the correlation between genetic variations, for example, BRCA or BRCA mutations, and response rates to new cancer therapies. Continuing with the critical objectives, we have meeting regulatory standards, compliance with regulatory frameworks like, for example, 21 CFR 312 for genetic trials, ensures approval and validation of study outcomes for specialized populations, as for example, following pharmacokinetics evaluations for osteoporosis medications to adjust dosages for elderly participants. Key benefits of monitoring: detection and resolution of participant safety concerns, standardization of procedures across global trial sites, early recognition of trends, enabling proactive decision-making and adjustments. And here are the key benefits. Those 3 bullet points or 3 points are the key benefits of monitoring. The key takeaway here, as effective monitoring ensures that clinical trials produce reliable, actionable data while prioritizing participant protection. Then we have advanced monitoring methodologies for geriatric and genetic trials. We have centralized monitoring as real-time data, a remote technology-driven approach to tracking trial trends in real time. So remote and real time. Use case blood pressure variability in older adults and elderly is monitored remotely using digital health tools integrated into a secure centralized platform. The benefit for it reduces the need for frequent site visits while maintaining continuous oversight. Another advanced monitoring methodology or technique, risk-based monitoring, RBM, risk-based monitoring. So focuses resources on high-risk data or trial size. Use case frequent checks on participants with cognitive decline in dementia trials to reduce variability in adherence and outcomes. Benefit allocates resources efficiently, addressing critical issues without increased operational costs. And here's a summarized diagram on centralized monitoring process. As we have initiate centralized monitoring, implement technology-driven approach, track trial trends, and then real-time data analysis. Continuing with the advanced monitoring methodologies or techniques, adaptive monitoring for genetic trials. Adjusts, modifies intensity and focus based on emerging data trends, particularly important for cutting-edge therapies. A use case here we have targeting genetic therapy adjustments in patients with BRCA mutations after early-stage safety and efficacy results. The benefit ensures swift and informed decisions tailored to patient and trial needs. Biomarker monitoring tracks progression with a specific genetic or phenotypic markers to validate therapeutic efficacy. The use case here, we have HER2 or HER2 hormone levels are observed in real time during gene targeting trials for breast cancer. Benefit provides precise outcome metrics for personalized medicine approaches. On-site monitoring in geriatric populations. So here, adaptive monitoring for genetic trials, then biomarker monitoring as we are going furthermore and proceeding within the advanced monitoring techniques or methodologies. We have here on-site monitoring in geriatric populations. As physical visits to oversee vulnerable populations, ensuring adherence and accurate reporting. As use case, we have reviewing drug administration logs in elderly heart failure patients enrolled in a clinical trial. The benefit helps prevent errors and confirms protocol adherence in fragile participant groups. The key takeaway here, tailoring advanced methodologies to population-specific needs optimizes accuracy and fosters safer trial outcomes. Then we have challenges. Challenges in monitoring geriatric and genetic trials. Age-specific challenges in geriatrics, physiological variability, older adults, elderly, or geriatric patients experience slow drug metabolism and polypharmacy complications. Solution for that is stratify participants into functional, and it's a good resolution or solution for this physiological variability, as to stratify participants or patients into functional age cohorts instead of relying solely on chronological age, but into functional age cohorts. Compliance challenges, cognitive impairments such as dementia may reduce adherence to interventions. Solution resolution for that, introduce caregiver-validated adherence logs and digital medication reminder tools. Genetic trial complexities, large data volumes. Genetic studies generate vast sequencing datasets, making them resource intensive to analyze. Solution resolution for that, employ bioinformatics powered decision-making tools for real-time analysis. And here is a summarized diagram on navigating geriatric care challenges. As we have geriatric challenges, we have health issues, we have social factors, and tailored approaches. Continuing with the challenges, variant interpretation challenges. Rare or novel variants often lack established clinical significance. Resolution for that: incorporate collaborative consortia databases for broader data analysis and interpretation. Common challenges across both fields, whether geriatric and or genetic trials: delayed enrollment. Both trial types often experience long recruitment windows due to strict inclusion-exclusion criteria. Resolution for that is to use patient advocacy networks and registry-based enrollment strategies to expand the participant pools. The key takeaway here from the challenges are strategic planning coupled with robust tools addresses inherent challenges and improves trial efficiency. Applications and case studies. Case study 1: Alzheimer's disease geriatric trial challenge high dropout rates due to travel-related difficulties. Solution for that: implement home-based electronic assessments to minimize participant burden, for instance, telehealth or telemedicine. Case study 2: genetic therapy for sickle cell anemia challenge complex genetic biomarkers required tracking over multiple time points. And here, resolution for that: we have a dedicated, we have here resolution for that: a dedicated biomarker tracking platform supported adaptive sampling plans. Case study 3: geriatric osteoporosis study challenge is the risk of fractures related to study protocols. Resolution for that: advanced risk stratification using musculoskeletal biomarkers ensured predictive safety interventions. And here is a summarized diagram on how to reduce dropout rates in the Alzheimer's disease. We have travel assistance, we have home-based assessments. The key takeaway here from the applications: applying tailored resolutions or solutions to real-world scenarios ensures monitoring is scalability and relevance as well. Technological advances revolutionizing monitoring. Wearable devices provide continuous monitoring for geriatric populations, as for example, wearable fall detectors integrated into trial platforms for elderly mobility studies. Bioinformatics and AI, artificial intelligence in genetics, transform data-heavy workflows to gain actionable clinical insights. Example: we have AI, artificial intelligence, interpretation of whole genome data accelerates variant detection in rare disease therapy trials. Blockchain data security, as ensures secure and transparent data sharing, particularly in multi-center genetic studies. Virtual clinical sites enables virtual and clinical sites enables remote monitoring and participation, which is virtual clinical sites. As for example, virtual check-ins replaced in-person assessments during COVID-19 restrictions in CRISPR trials. The key takeaway here, and prior to that, we have a summarizing diagram on the components of wearable devices for elderly monitoring, as we have health data collection, geriatric population or populations, and continuous monitoring. The key takeaway here: harnessing technology elevates trial quality by enhancing safety, reach, and scalability. Summary tables, as the upcoming tables is to summarize what we have covered through this lecture, this table on key monitoring tools and benefits, tool benefits example, tools centralized platforms, bioinformatics tools, wearable devices. Another table on key monitoring methodologies, methodology description example, benefits, challenges. As methodologies, we have centralized monitoring, risk-based monitoring, RBM, adaptive monitoring, biomarker-specific monitoring, on-site monitoring for geriatrics. Another table on challenges and solutions. As here we have the challenge, we have impact, solution, example, outcome. Challenges, we have physiological variability, compliance issues, data volume and genetics, variant interpretation, and recruitment delays. Table on endpoints in geriatric trials, parameter and endpoint example, assessment tool, outcome, utility. Parameters, we have cognitive function, functional and independence, cardiovascular health, bone health, and glycemic variability. Then we have a table on biomarker considerations in genetics, focus, data type, example, purpose, limitations. As focus, we have DNA, sequence variants, gene expression levels, protein biomarkers, epigenetic modifications, and functional genomic validation. Another table on recruitment solutions or resolutions, challenge, solution, and implementation, example, benefits, and limitations. Challenges are slow enrollment rates, rare population access, high dropout risks, patient communication gaps, and geographic barriers. Another table here, application table, scenarios. For each scenario, we have key principle applied, key actions, timeline, what to watch out for. Scenarios, we have Alzheimer's trial with home-based assessments. We have CRISPR based trial for genetic blood disorders, multi-center osteoarthritis pain trial in senior patients, geriatric oncology trial evaluating personalized doses. Continuing with scenarios, we have trial investigating BRCA targeted therapies, diabetes intervention using wearable insulin monitors, genetic neuromodulation treatment trial, and then dementia uh, preventing or dementia prevention and using pharmacogenomics. So dementia prevention using pharmacogenomics. Continuing with scenarios, cardiovascular study including older or elder comorbidity risks, pediatric variant tracking applied pediatric variant tracking applied to aging patients. Then we will be revising what we have covered through this lecture through some MCQs or multiple choice questions. Question 1, why is monitoring critical for clinical trials in geriatric population? A, to reduce the overall trial duration. B, to ensure participant safety and address altered pharmacokinetics. C, to focus only on younger population while ignoring comorbidities. D, to limit data collection to one geographic site. To one geographic site as of D. So the right answer is B, as to ensure. Why monitoring is critical? To ensure participant patient safety and address altered pharmacokinetics. So B is the answer. As geriatric populations often have unique physiological challenges such as comorbidities and altered drug metabolism, making monitoring crucial for safeguarding safety and optimizing dosing accuracy. Question 2, which monitoring methodology is highly effective in genetic trials? Is it static monitoring of fixed endpoints? A. B. Adaptive monitoring based on emerging genetic data trends. C. Sole reliance on participant self-administered tests. Or D. Uniform monitoring for all trial phases. So it is B. Adaptive monitoring based on emerging genetic data trends. Adaptive monitoring. So B is the answer. As adaptive monitoring adjusts oversight in real time, enabling trial managers to respond effectively to genetic data trends like changes in mutation profiles or biomarker responses. Question 3. What is the primary solution for managing polypharmacy risks in geriatric participants? A. Randomizing patient populations without screening. B. Avoiding age-specific stratification. C. Stratifying participants by functional rather than chronological age. Or D. Excluding comorbid patients from trials. So the question, this question, its answer is C. As such, stratifying participants or patients by functional rather than on chronological age um, approach. So C is the correct answer. As functional stratification accounts for an individual's biological health, status, and comorbidities, ensuring trials address realistic risks and outcomes associated with polypharmacy. What is a key challenge when monitoring biomarkers in genetic trials? So, what is the key challenge or a key challenge when monitoring biomarkers in genetic trials? A. Insufficient tools for participant follow up. B. Limited understanding of rare genetic variants. C. Reliance on outdated data on outdated monitoring frameworks. Or D. Excessive biomarker standardization across all uh, trials. So the answer is B, as limited understanding of rare genetic variants is the key challenge when monitoring biomarkers in genetic trials. So B is the answer, as genetic variants, especially rare ones, can complicate data interpretation. Bioinformatics tools and consortia or consortia are essential for accurate variant analysis and the therapeutic adjustments. Question 5. How can compliance be enhanced in geriatric trials involving participants or patients with cognitive impairments? A. By avoiding caregiver involvement. B. Through digital reminders and caregiver training programs. C. By requiring cognitive testing at every visit site. Or D. Using self reported adherence without validation. So the answer is B, as a through digital reminders and caregiver training programs. So through digital reminders, digital reminders and caregiver training programs, as B is the answer for the um, uh, enhancement or improvement compliance in geriatric trials involving participants or patients with cognitive impairments. So B is the answer through digital reminders and caregiver training programs as uh, an enhancement or advancement. As cognitive impairments can hinder adherence, digital tools and caregiver education ensure participants or patients follow protocols while maintaining trial continuity and safety standards. And here we come to the end of this lecture. Thank you very much and goodbye.